In my misspent youth, especially after December of 1973 when the film Sting came out, anybody known to be taking piano lessons could at some point be expected to play the Sting, that is, the Entertainer, the Scott Joplin piece used as the theme music for the film. And so I obliged. I was kind of smitten with the music, and I didn't get terribly far with it, but I did learn By the way, I did learn the other hand part as well, but guess what's holding the camera right now? Yeah, you got it. After that first section, I began to learn the second section, what comes after. And I noticed something, because Joplin does this. So he takes... In other words, let me see if I can get my hand out of the way. Here, I know what we can do. We can watch this. Well. So then he moves just up, just a bit. So let me see if I can catch it here. Well, I really can't. It's hard to see, but watch these notes. So he's going from to. So basically he's taking that same pattern that he just used and just moving up one note and repeating it to build his next melody. So with that in mind, let's travel to our trusty pianola, this wonderful machine that lets us play all sorts of wonderful things without pianistic ability whatsoever, and explore a bit more how Joplin does this and other interesting structural things with the Entertainer. I'll try to bring out the details and point out things as we go along, because actually the Entertainer is a spectacularly well-constructed, carefully crafted piece of music. Everything builds on what came before it in some form or fashion, just like we just saw. Sometimes things at the very, very beginning turn up at the very, very end. So it's really cool. So watch how this works. Now, what Joplin has done here, he's used an Afrocentric musical idea of call and response, in which one party would call out a melodic idea and another party would respond to it with another musical idea, back and forth and back and forth. That's what he's doing here. Listen for the call and response here. Here's the call. Here's the call. And here's the response. Call, response. And just like we talked about before, he's going to take this response to build on this section. response idea. I like to think of it as the ice cream truck making another lap around the block to catch the folks that they missed the first time. Now, Joplin's going to introduce a new melody, but there's also a counter melody as well. That counter melody is going to be important, so try to listen for both. Here's the melody. Now I'll bring out the counter melody. Could you hear that, the difference, the melody and the counter melody? The reason I mention this is that counter melody we just heard after this next little interlude is going to become, guess what? The next melody. How cool is that? So let's get through the interlude. Now, what was the counter melody, ba-ba-da-ba-da, is now the melody. Listen how that works. But there's a new counter melody. Let me bring that out for you. We've heard that new counter melody before. Where? Oh, wait a minute. I know. At the very, very beginning, remember that single note introduction that dropped through the middle of the piano register? It turns up now as the counter melody. You'll see what I mean. Ba-ba-ba-bum, ba-bum. Ba-ba-ba-bum, ba-bum. Ba-ba-ba-bum, ba-bum. How cool is that?